continuing on to make the sides here, I need to adjust my sketch because I forgot to put the fingers on the bottom, and that's not going to do. So let's do that now. I've got my projected geometry in there, so I don't actually need to have my components turned on. I'll expose my sketch palette here. I'll turn on my projected geometries. There they are, lovely. And I'll add a line here. So I'm just going to snap in, at the horizontal. If it's not, snapping in exactly horizontally for you, again, you're just going to apply that horizontal vertical constraint. I don't need it now because it's actually gone perpendicular, and it's showing me with that little T symbol there that it's exactly perpendicular, which is what I want. I will dimension then this object, this entity, over to the side wall, and I'm going to put in 10, and it's gone black. I can now turn off the visibility of the projected geometries. That's lovely. And now I'm going to want to create another pattern, a rectangular pattern. I will select that one object, and I'll pull that along there. It looks like it's going to give me 3. I'll just type in 10. I'm going to type in, I'll try that again, 10 of them, and I'll pop over for the distance. Hang on a second here. Wait. I think that should have given, there we go, 10. Oh, much better. Phew. Okay, I got 10, and of course I'm going to go here. This should be depth, and it should be minus 20. And is that going to go in correctly? Yes. So it'll be always the depth of the box minus the 10 that I would have on each corner. All right, there we go. Let me zoom so you can see that. Looks like they're all there. And the thing is, I don't need to have 10 in the vertical direction. Like, this is crazy. I don't need those ones. So I only want 1. So I'll just delete the 0 off there. It's only going to make 1 row, but 10 columns. There it goes. They're all stretched out to the right place. I think that's okay. I'll hit OK. And then I have this sketch. As always, if I double click the icon for the rectangular pattern, I can always bring back its dialog box. But I don't need to change it. It's OK for now. There we go. So I'll say Finish Sketch. So if I turn back the visibility of the previous parts, I can see that everything fits in there. If I check my parameters and I change the depth of the box, will it stretch out, and will all the little fingers go in the right place? So look there. And oh my goodness, they do. It's beautiful. I'll leave that like that. It's time to extrude the front of the box. So let's do that. I'll hit E for extrude, and now it wants to know, well, what do I extrude? So I will say that I want to extrude, for the moment, I'm going to extrude everything. So I'm going to turn off all those things. And now I will just sort of position this to the right side, and I can just do a drag select, and I can select everything. And I'm going to make a new component. And then I'm going to say that I will extrude that out to the depth of thickness. If I turn on the bottom, you can see that I actually don't want that to come out this direction. I want it to line up so that it digs into the bottom. So it's going to be minus thickness. Minus thickness, so it'll overlap. There it is. And I rotate around. That looks like it's good. I've got all the little bits, and I'm happy. Now, at this point, like I could go back and I could deselect the fingers that I don't want, and then that would work quite well. So I think what I'll do is I will deselect all the parts that I don't want to include in the extrude, because I can do this right now. It's fine. And I'm just deselecting those sketch profiles that are going to interfere with this, and there we go. It's all good to go. Again, those sides are there. It's showing me that it's going to do an extrude. And you can see it's red. It's gone to, I'm going to make a new component here, but it's kind of overlapping, and it's showing me that there's going to be some overlap. And that's fine. I'll just say, minus thickness, new component. I say OK, and the whole thing pops in. Now, I'm going to name this right away, and I'm going to call this front back, same name as the sketch. And when I select it over here, you can see it highlights it. Now I can see that, yeah, it looks like it's done it correctly. You'll notice as well that I try and leave the corners for these finger jointed things square so that they just fit together when we glue them together a little better that way. All right, so at this point, I'm going to for sure have a lot of interference. If I select everything and I check it by running an interference analysis, I've got interference all over the place. I need to deal with that. And of course, as before, we'll do that with a combine command. And I can do that now, or I could do it after I've created a mirror of the side. It doesn't matter. So I'll just do this now. I will do a combine, and the target body is now going to be the side, and the tool body will be this, and I will keep the tools, and I'll say OK. So now there shouldn't be any interference between this component and this component. Now I'll do the same thing here. I'll do another combine, and the target body will be the other side. The tool body will still be the front, and I'll keep the tools, and I'll say OK. And then I'll do the same thing again. I'll combine. This time it's the bottom, and the tool body is the front there, and I'll keep my tools, and I'll say OK. So now at this point, if we're lucky, we shouldn't have any interference. So I'll say inspect interference compute, and oh my goodness, we don't have any. All right, last step here to our finger jointed box. I'm going to turn on that origin point so I can see this plane. I want to mirror the front back part, and I'll make a mirror of that around to the back. So I will say mirror. So I will create a mirror. And under here, I will say the pattern type is components. It was going to want me to select the component, and then it's going to want me to select the mirror plane. As soon as I click it, it gives me a preview of what that will look like, and that's what I want. So I'll say OK. And of course, as before, there's going to be lots of interference in between these parts, and so I'll just confirm that, inspect interference, and yep, there's all that interference. I need to get rid of it. I will do exactly the same thing. Now, combine the target, the side, the tool, the back, keep the tools OK. And we just repeat this a couple of times. Combine, boom, 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 combine. Whoops, the target should be the bottom, beg your pardon. I'm going to just unselect all that, I beg your pardon. The target is the bottom, and the tool body is the front there, and I will say cut, and I'll say OK. And at this point, if I select the bottom, you can see it's gone on all four sides. If I select the sides, I can see that it's got all the bits cut out that I want, and the front should be OK, and the back should be OK. Although it's called front back mirror, because that's just how it works. All right, that's it. I will run one more interference analysis just to make sure, and I hit compute, and oh, no interference is detected. A thing of beauty. So that is it. That's how to make your finger jointed box. We'll show you in future videos how you could then use this product in another sketch or in another design to add this into, say, like a clock face or something like that. That's it, and we'll see you on the flip side.